Yesterday.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Make It Take It podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 17th. I am joined by Adam Oppenheim, Ethan Mazel, Jason Myers pushing the buttons for us today. Lots to talk about. Town is bustling. It is Little 500 being the greatest, world's greatest college weekend, whatever it is. But that's coming up. Lots of NBA stuff to get into as well. But first, gentlemen, how we doing?
I'm good. I'm watched the play-in last night. Got some nice NBA basketball in. Been singing the Orlando Magic theme song all day.
I'm singing it all.
That's all we do here.
Yeah, that's electric. Now I'm excited to talk some ball.
Yeah, so let's just get right into and address the elephant in the room. Elephant in the room.
He will be irrelevant though after this.
The NBA bans Jontay Porter for gambling violations.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, in case you didn't know, Mizzou legend. He placed 13 NBA bets from $15 to $22,000, but the biggest one was a friend or like a family member of his placed an $80,000 parlay on his unders that would have netted $1 million. That he was sick, but he went in for 3 minutes so that he would get the game played. But because he only played 3 minutes, DraftKings ended up voiding it. But no one places an $80,000 bet on Jontay Porter unless they are Jontay Porter. So
yeah, I was gonna say I was absolutely shocked that got flagged. I mean, doesn't everyone do that? You know, betting on Jontay Porter's unders. I mean, you have a serious problem. I mean, how do you think you aren't gonna get caught? Like, what are you doing?
So much money.
He also doesn't earn that much money and had some starts for the Raptors this year. And boy, some of those videos, he looked very guilty. The one where he banked in a three and was like, uh-oh. I mean, it was so obvious.
Yeah, so basically it just seems like there was some suspicious activity, you know, with the whole under thing, and that just kind of snowballed into this big revelation about Porter. But yeah, I think you guys were wanting to talk about USA.
Oh, yeah. The Olympics are coming up this summer in Paris, and today we got the new USA basketball full roster. This is probably the most stacked roster we've had in a couple years. Features most of the guys from, the 2010s, the superstars from there, LeBron, KD, Steph. But the big one, Embiid, is on the roster. Joel Embiid is playing for Team USA. His the country, I guess he's grown up most of his life in at this point. Yeah, what do you guys think about it?
That's crazy, but I mean, I guess Embiid wants to win. It seems like it's going to be a free gold for Team USA. It's certainly an interesting team. I think they still have one spot left. No, Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi took it.
Kawhi was the last spot. That's not super surprising there. It is interesting to see how all these players fit together, because people were like, one person obviously doesn't fit in is Drew Holiday, but everyone else needs the ball, probably except Drew Holiday. Everyone else is like a main scorer, so it'll be interesting to see how they work together.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of an interesting pick, and also, or not interesting, a biased pick, because, this is host on Indiana University's campus, in-state, with the Pacers. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how Halliburton's going to perform. He's really made a name for himself in Indiana, and now, this is just a different platform, much bigger platform, in the regard of, the Olympics. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays. But yeah, definitely a very interesting lineup. Looks like there's some mix of old and young, so we'll see how that plays out. But something else to address. Let's get into it. Play-in tournament, NBA playoffs started. The playoff picture was set. We had a chance on Monday to look at it. And yesterday, Lakers over the Pelicans, Kings over the Warriors. Very interesting Lakers-Pelicans game. Kind of went back and forth. Lakers went up by double digits early, but Zion was having an incredible game. Scored 40 points, 11 rebounds, but he had to leave the game when it was tied or at least one possession.
Yeah, it was tied.
Yeah.
With 3 minutes to go. I think it was tied at 95. Pretty brutal, honestly, for the Pelicans. Now they have to go play. Who are they playing now?
The Kings.
The Kings.
Kings.
Yeah, the Kings. I just said that. That could be. Zion's estimated return date is Friday. So I guess we'll kind of see how that shapes out, but definitely tough to lose. I mean, if they don't have him, I think it's basically wraps.
Yeah, they were in an extremely tough situation because Brandon Ingram was also coming off an injury. And people thought it was crazy when I was talking about, the Pelicans, how their best player is Zion Williamson. Everyone's like, no, it's Brandon Ingram. No, it is not. Watch Brandon Ingram play in this game. I know he's injured, but he's not the number one option on that team. It's clearly Zion Williamson, who had a season-high 40, could not be stopped, and really brought the Pelicans back into that game, along with, contributions from, Alvarado and Trey Murphy. The Pelicans were able to, climb their way back into the game, and the Lakers, once again, down the stretch, they played some really good ball, and it sets up them playing Denver.
Yeah, really, you got to look at this. This Pelicans team, 1 win short of 50. They had 49 wins this year, and to be in the play-in at all with that kind of record is pretty crazy alone. But Brandon Ingram was pretty terrible down the stretch. He was a team worst, nearly a team worst, minus 16 plus minus on the day, and he was literally benched to close the game.
Yep.
Like when you can't rely on your second best player
A
to
max
do anything.
player too.
Yeah, it was really just a terrible way to end that game for the Pelicans, and they're not looking too good heading into Sacramento.
Yeah, CJ McCollum has been one of the leading scorer, not the leading scorer for this Pelicans team. That's been Zion, and he fit that role yesterday. But that's kind of tough. He has 6 assists. McCollum has 6 assists, but only 9 points. You're not going to win a game with McCollum scoring 9 points. It's not going to happen. It's really tough. I guess on the flip side, kind of also tough for the Lakers to kind of get beat by Zion that badly and almost, kind of implode it. They had a huge halftime lead. So a little bit scary there, but as the broadcast said, Lakers have been, one of the best teams in late game situations. I thought that D'Angelo Russell looked great early.
Yes.
He provided a big spark. 21 points, 6 assists, nothing too eye-catchy. But, man, in that first half when he was, releasing 3-pointers, it's like you knew he was going in. He was talking. There was just a lot of energy. A lot of balanced scoring. But a lot of balance scoring for the Lakers. I think before we get into the other side of the play-in with Warriors-Kings, I'm just going to flat out say that the Lakers are going to beat the Nuggets.
That's crazy.
They almost lost to the Pelicans, and they would have lost if Zion stayed healthy for that game.
I can't say that.
I know.
But I don't agree. I think the Nuggets.
Okay, it's a very out there pick, and I get it. I think that even though the Thunder are a very young team, they're still going to survive in their matchup. So I think if you're going to pick any of the 1s or 2s to go down, it's maybe the least favorable pick to go. But I think the Lakers have the veterans to challenge the Nuggets. It's not going to be easy. A lot would have to go wrong for the Nuggets for that to happen. But if I'm going to be using an upset card out of the first 4 games of the 1s and the 2s, I'm going to pick the Lakers. Like I said, it can go both ways. It's a little tough that you almost implode against the Pelicans. But the Pelicans do have Zion, and that's definitely a very unique type of player to have to guard. And they shut down everybody else, and they brought balanced scoring. They've been one of the best teams late game, and they also survived a late game.
Yeah,
to get that out of the way.
Yeah, but you're saying Zion's a unique player. You're facing Nikola Jokic, who was
I'm not saying it's going to. No, I'm saying but the other players as well. I'm saying that it's not like some guy off the street is dropping 40 on you. Zion. Zion was very good.
The way people talk about
Zion
him, he's eating the table. No, he's a good basketball player.
Zion
and
was
he eats as well.
Zion was close to a career high, but it's still like, okay,
3 points off.
If you let him go and you stop the other players, think about the Nuggets. Jokic is incredible, but that team goes as much as Murray will take them.
Really, they do match up well. I'll give you that. You put Anthony Davis on Jokic, and then you put LeBron on Michael Porter Jr., and then it's up to Jamal Murray and D'Angelo Russell to really be the differences in that game. But, really, to me, it's the fact that LeBron, he was 6 for 20, pretty terrible shooting game for him. But he played 41 minutes. AD played 40 minutes. LeBron was out there taking charges.
That was
He took
ridiculous.
some
That was
charges in this game.
ridiculous.
Bro, he went
play.
LeBron
flying.
That
was insane. Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
If you have LeBron like that locked in, he was 1 rebound, 1 assist away from a triple-double in this game. I think this team goes as far as LeBron takes them. And right now he's playing his best basketball this season.
I just think the Nuggets are so connected as a starting unit. That's why they're really tough to beat with Caldwell Pope and Porter and Gordon alongside Jokic and Murray. It's like perfect fits everywhere. And for the Lakers, outside of LeBron and AD, you need Reeves and Russell to have good series. And you're going to need one more guy, whether that's Taurean Prince, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura. Someone else needs to provide a spark for the Lakers. The Nuggets, it was so much about the two-man game last year because Jokic creates practically every shot. The second he goes to the bench, the Nuggets are in deep trouble a lot of times. That's why he only sits for like 4 minutes. So
Is the X factor Jalen Hutchkefino?
yeah, out for the season, but yeah.
It's just if this is what I'm saying, where it's like LeBron is old, but if he's out there getting decked and taking charges, I think that one play is so symbolic of this Lakers team. They're going to need a lot of help from other players, other pieces against the Nuggets. But, the Nuggets have been good on a very consistent basis. It's why they're the 2, but I think there are cracks in the foundation that if I'm looking around at this, a lot of people might say that, Knicks and the Heat or the 76ers or maybe the Thunder, the young Thunder team against, maybe the Kings or something like that. I'm going bottom left. If you look at the bracket, it's Nuggets, Lakers. I'm picking it. At least it's good value, if anything. I mean,
it would be a pretty
I take that over
loss.
the Thunder and who they're going to play now. The Thunder got a fantastic draw, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to have some questions to answer because they're so young, but I think they're going to survive the first round of.
Well, right, because you didn't want the Lakers or Warriors because they're so young. You don't want to face, those veteran teams. Instead, you get either an inexperienced Pelicans team or an inexperienced Kings team banged up.
DeMontis Sabonis revenge game incoming.
Yeah, that.
All right, well then let's segue into the other game. What are you laughing at?
Hey, he was there as a rookie.
Yeah, that was a
He's
good
back.
reference.
Yeah.
Oh,
DeMontis Sabonis Thunder
revenge.
No, I was using that to segue in.
Yeah.
I just had to make sure you didn't rant about Sabonis.
No.
Kings 118-94 over the Warriors. Close game at half. Actually, really entertaining game. Warriors were making a push, but then it just got out of hand. And another elephant, man. Klay Thompson, 0 points in like 30-something minutes. I think at one point in the fourth quarter, he was 0 for 10, 0 for 6 from 3-point.
That's what he ended up.
That's just brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
and I will add before you go, it was like a month ago where I was like, I made my rant where I was like, oh, Warriors are just like not it. And then they went on a run and I hopped on the bandwagon. Guys, whatever I say, take the opposite. I hopped on the band.
Nuggets in 4.
Yeah, I was going to say Nuggets in 4 then, buddy.
yeah. So, that's kind of brutal. De'Aaron Fox doing his thing, getting 24. Keon Ellis, great story.
Oh, man.
Undrafted out of Alabama, two-way player. Then gets added on, only averaging about 5 points a game. He's just raining threes, 15 points, very solid, exactly what the Kings needed. Sabonis got in foul trouble, 16 points, but Harrison Barnes down the stretch, they were feeding him. He answered when called upon. Just a great game. Keegan Murray, 32 points, absolutely ridiculous.
Say it with me, Keegan.
He also had 9 boards. He had 0 assists, but who cares? Sabonis at 7. Keon Ellis with 5 too, as well. On top of the 15 points, he had another 5. Just a great game. Terrible game by the Warriors, in my opinion. They couldn't rebound. They're getting outbodied on the glass. Klay Thompson. I understand why he's taking 10 shots, but you just can't go 0 for 10. That's just that's pretty bad. So yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad loss for the Warriors, especially considering that they beat the Kings last year. Like, they knocked them out in Game 7 last year in the first round. And Steph had 50 in that game. And I really think What happened?
Sorry, I just said 50 is crazy.
Keon Ellis did an incredible job guarding Steph up and down the floor this whole game. I mean, it's really just the end. The Warriors just lost steam. That's sort of it. I think it's clearly the end of their big three, which is, sad but also good for a lot of other teams. This Kings team, they just really mesh well together and they play a good team basketball that I don't know how many games they'll win in the playoffs, even if they win the next game at all. But they play good team basketball, and I like what they were doing here. I mean, every starter played like a lot of minutes for them. Like
right, because they have no
Reed
bench
played
with the
nearly
injuries.
40
right?
minutes. I think Keon Ellis better than my guy Red Velvet, Kevin Herter.
Right? Is that what they call him?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's sort of the X factor here, and I think this team goes as far as De'Aaron Fox takes them.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting game, I will say. And obviously, you guys hit on it. Keon Ellis into the starting lineup. Really didn't play at the beginning of the year, but with Monk and Herter out, you had no choice but to throw him into the starting lineup for the past few weeks. He's been really good. He had 3 threes. Keegan Murray had 4 threes in the first quarter. But once again, for the Warriors, comes down to turnovers. It hurt them in years past. Once again, 16 turnovers in this game to the Kings 8. And then Steve Kerr mentioned in his press conference, but the Kings attempted 18 more shots. If you attempt 18 more shots, you're most likely going to win the game, even if you don't shoot a great percentage. So, yeah, it's really been just a struggle for the Warriors. And Klay Thompson, I mentioned on Monday, he was, the guy the Warriors really needed because you're not really relying on Andrew Wiggins at this point to score. He's continued to go downhill. But there's one thing that I think we always keep talking about, and it's these teams like the Warriors who have an okay regular season, and you're like, wow, they're going to heat up for the playoffs and make a run. Besides the Miami Heat last year as the 8 seed, teams don't just have a regular season like this, they're a 9 or a 10 seed, and then suddenly make the finals. It just doesn't happen. And it was really symbolic of the Warriors season because let's be real, they're not a good basketball team. We just judged them this season off of having Steph Curry, right?
And Chris Paul, I think,
Oh, man, he
made
was bad
people
too.
think that they're going to be a lot better because of how he's actually been pretty good in the playoffs over the past. I mean, he's had some good stretches. They went to the finals.
Chris Paul hits the 3 to cut the lead.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the whole logic was, with a month ago in the regular season, Kings dealing with injuries, Warriors turning on the Jets. I mean, it seemed like that could have been the path, and it seemed like the most likely path based on the recent trends at the time. But no, I mean, they're flipping the script. I think that home court advantage was big in this type of series. You're going to draw a lot of people for Warriors Kings. It was very entertaining last year, and it was a pretty decent game up until late. But no, Kings just had way more energy.
I do have one thing to say. I will say that I don't think this Warriors team is just going to sit there and let Steph's years pass by.
I agree.
I think they're going to try and make a move this offseason.
Again, but it goes into what I was saying a month ago, and I'll go back to it, where do the Warriors have a lot of young talent? Yes, they do. But do I think that they're of the better teams that are gelling that young talent with their old veterans? I don't think so at all. I think that's maybe a little biased because if you're trusting Klay as much as they do, and he has that bad of a night as he did, you're really taking away an opportunity for a younger player to, get in the mix with Curry and see how he does fit. We've seen Trace have a pretty positive impact. Kuminga's a bucket.
He started.
Yeah,
no,
Trace,
exactly.
Trace with Draymond on the floor was terrific.
We've seen the positive impact that these young Warrior players can have. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, and then you also have
I just don't think they gel as much together with.
Yeah, what hurts gelling is Draymond Green. I mean, if you get suspended throughout the season, like that doesn't help. You punch Jordan Poole, like.
I think the answer is Draymond and Klay got to go.
Yeah,
and then it'll open the floodgates of younger players coming in, being able to gel with Curry, and really fitting into a role. I think, honestly, as much as Wiggins, I think, is on the chopping block in terms of being a starter. I think that it's not necessarily a long-term answer for the Warriors. He's good.
I mean,
he could be a six-man.
Getting paid a ton, isn't he?
He's
on max, I think.
He could be a six-man role.
Yeah.
Kind of that sixth man. And really help. I think you would thrive in that role. But again, as much as we were saying, chopping up these players, they got to find replacements, and that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do. You just can't just say that.
Who would you guys want to see come into the Warriors for Draymond and Clay?
Ultimately, I think
LeBron.
I think LeBron is their ultimate dream. And I think it has
Wow.
been
That's
for.
a take.
What
I
are
think
you
it has
saying?
been. If
I
you
mean,
look
yeah,
at
I
it-
think
Get off
the
the
Warriors
pot.
should get
Get off the
No,
Giannis.
I think.
Get off
Yo,
the
Warrior.
I
Oh,
think
and
LeBron
Giannis
also
got
wants
the
to go
door.
there.
Turn around,
No,
never speak
I
to me
think-
again.
I think.
We're having a good discussion, and you say LeBron.
Listen. You
No
heard
shit.
around the trade
my
deadline.
God, bro.
You heard around the trade deadline,
Oh.
and not only are Warriors losing most of these guys. Not only is this the most
You're
cap
a bum.
space they're having.
You're actually a bum.
This
You're,
is the
you're
most
lower
cap.
to bum
Listen,
status now.
Listen. This is the
Oh.
most cap space they're having since the KD summer, and Steph's going to his age 36 year. This is the Warriors' last. They have 2 more years. I think Steph is still a top 5 point guard in the league. They have 2 more years of Steph being that level of player, and it's sort of now or never. And then once Steph retires, I think this franchise fades into sort of irrelevancy for the next
But if
5-10 years.
if you add LeBron, it doesn't go well though.
Well,
you were just
I still think they're doing it.
Oh my
2
God.
guys that are
They're doing
retired
it.
home
It's not gonna
40
happen.
million. Like
I still think they're
Hey,
going to do it.
LeBron's not going to leave the Lakers after they beat the Nuggets. Just saying. Just saying.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, dude. No.
I'm telling you, it's coming. Something's coming.
All right.
If it's not LeBron, it's someone
You
else.
gotta remember to clip this. This is crazy.
If it's not LeBron, it's someone else.
It's someone else
Excellent
big.
analysis, Ethan. That was
I think the
incredible.
Warriors, they're going all in on this offseason for one final run around Steph Curry.
LeBron James is going to take them to the finals.
I don't know. I think they could get a guy like
Okay,
Kyle
well, okay.
Kuzma. I'm not even kidding.
Okay, but what do you think
Like,
about
do
Chris
you
that's
Paul?
more. That's
Like,
What do
more
you think about Chris
reasonable.
Paul, though? I mean, Chris Paul's also on the chopping block then, by the
No,
way.
I mean, but
I
like
think
if
he's
he's
no
there
bad.
or not, what is he gonna do there?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just trying to say
What can
that.
you get for him?
I'm just trying to
Bag
say
of
that.
Lay's?
I'm just trying to say that
He's a good veteran.
we have sat
minimum
here
guy.
and just named Draymond, Chris Paul, Clay being gone and moving Wiggins to the 6-man. So the returning starting 5 for the Warriors would be Steph and Trace,
Listen,
and they need 3
they
people
also.
to fill
I
it.
think Pods. I think Pods
I mean,
is really good.
we just gutted the Warriors. Like,
This is their chance to go all in. Trade everyone. I want to see Steph.
restart everything.
Trade everyone.
I
I
want
want
Steph
Steve
have
Kerr
one
How much
goal.
value are you really getting?
I actually
for Klay
really.
Thompson?
Everyone hates on Steve Kerr.
How
I
much
actually
value?
like Steve Kerr.
How much value are
His
you getting?
rotations were tough this year, but I'm actually serious about Kyle Kuzma. You know,
No, I'm not. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
on like
I don't
20
think that
something
changes
million a
anything,
year.
but,
Has team control as well. You pick him up, he can score in the starting lineup. I think the Lakers didn't really want to give him away after that championship year. Him and KCP, I mean,
All
they
right.
were key pieces to that 2020 bubble run for the Lakers.
All right, we have to move on. We got to go to the rest of
How are
the.
we gonna move on from that?
I'm moving
Trust me,
on.
trust
I'm moving
me.
on because I need to move on from that. We're going into the play-in tournament. Heat versus 76ers, Hawks versus the Bulls. Hawks have Trae Young back. I'm going Hawks. And 76ers, I just don't think the Heat are going to do it again. 76ers.
I'm taking the Heat. I think Jimmy Butler against his former team is really sort of all you need to know there. I think.
You're saying Tobias Harris over
Yeah, I
me?
mean, he posted the other day. And honestly, I think the Sixers as an 8 seed is probably better for them because I feel like they match up better there. But I'm taking the Heat here in a return to playoff Jimmy Butler and the rest of the Heat team.
So with whichever team loses, they have they still have another chance to be in
Right.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
should-
As the Heat and the Sixers, would you guys want to maybe lose to have a
No,
better shot?
absolutely not.
No.
If I was the
absolutely
Heat,
not.
I avoid the Celtics at all costs. But I think the Sixers could.
You just
Well,
don't want to have to.
well, they
play
don't
and
have a
keep
choice.
playing.
Yeah.
It's just.
If you
Yeah.
win, you want. It's not like the
Yeah.
Lakers situation where people saying they tank to avoid the Nuggets. I do have the Sixers. They're coming on an 8-game winning streak. If Embiid is 80%, he's gonna be tough to stop for the Heat. You really just don't have a good supporting cast this year. It's been bad outside Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Hawks, Bulls. I'll take the Bulls. If one of those teams actually somehow gets to the 18, that would be shocking because both these teams, I mean, they do not deserve another shot.
If DeRozan's daughter is in the building, anything
Yeah,
can happen.
I know. It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
I think that would be. I mean, that would be insane if. Right? Because what do you mean? By
I think both these
the
teams
9
will
or 10.
lose to.
Well, I'm
next
saying
round.
if the Hawks or Bulls, the winner of that, if they beat the loser of the Heat Sixers, that would be shocking.
Oh,
Yeah,
Because
okay.
my bad.
I thought you were
No, I
saying
agree, I
Bulls
agree.
Hawks going to play the Knicks. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
But no,
Yeah.
I think I think, hey, Knicks believers coming out right now. I think that the 76ers are going to beat the Heat. It's going to be an awesome series between the Knicks and the 76ers, and then the Knicks are going to play the Pacers. And that's just going to be an incredible string of great basketball and entertaining basketball.
I like it.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole East is sort of just like
yeah, it's whack.
I don't even know. I feel like there's so many more teams from in the West that like would pretty easily beat whoever comes out of the East. Especially like if the Celtics don't make it, it's like I don't think any of these teams are beating like even like the Clippers. Like I don't think like
So
like
what
if
you're
the
saying
Bucks
is,
win the East, I don't think they're beating the Clippers anyway.
like you would take Clippers, Mavericks, Lakers, Nuggets over the Bucks, is what you're saying. Something.
everyone other than the Lakers. But yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty fair.
No, that's
Like, yeah.
absolutely a fair take. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. Yeah, I mean, you watch the regular season. I think the Knicks have a real shot. I really said it like
I
a
think
couple
so, too.
a couple months ago that as a Celtics fan, I mean, you're worried about the Bucks because of the star power, but in terms of team camaraderie, the Knicks, they were the second best team in the East the entire year. Just because they were lower in the
Yeah.
standings, it's because they had injuries. So
Well, I just think with the 7 and the 8 that, the Heat have all the pedigree of what they did last year, but 76ers are 7-2 in April, and that's basically with getting Embiid back as well. So clearly, it's helping out as it should. So okay, then let's stay in the East and make our picks for I guess the 4 big playoff series, excluding the play-in now. So I think it's probably common knowledge all of us can agree that Celtics are beating whoever comes out of the play-in,
Yes.
for sure.
I will say if they lose the first game of whatever series, it becomes very questionable. I
yeah,
think they start to
Right.
freak out.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a fair
yeah,
take.
you-
But are we all in agreement that
Yeah.
the Celtics eventually will win that
Yes.
first series? Okay, then moving over to Cavaliers Magic.
Oh,
Honestly, I think it's probably the toughest call of them all. Honestly, in any one of the 8 major playoff series, I think it's probably the toughest series to call.
I mean, I'm going to take the Magic. I think they just play better team basketball. Although they don't have the true star power, this feels just like a series where it's like the team versus one player, really 2 players, and Donovan Mitchell and Garland on the other side.
and Jared Allen.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I'd subtract Garland at Allen. I'm not even kidding. He's the second best player.
I mean,
I think Paolo and Franz match up pretty well with the Magic, with the Cavs. And I'll take them there like a 5 or 6 game series.
I think the Cavaliers, they're going to be playing better with Mitchell, but Magic have a lot of different options, and they've also played really well on the road this season, which I think is kind of goes under the radar. I mean, they win 2 out of 3 on the road.
Mhm.
I mean, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, all I can think about is that Cavs playoff run last year against the Knicks because it only lasted a few games. They were just abysmal. They were terrible to watch. Donovan Mitchell not giving up the ball, which is fine because he's the star player, but they just have no one else who can contribute. Like they're gonna leave all those, Okoro type players Dean Wade open from 3 the entire series. Now Orlando, they can shoot the ball a little bit, especially, Cole Anthony off the bench. Jalen Suggs has been really good this year on the defensive end. He's probably going to have the task of guarding Donovan Mitchell. So if he can limit Mitchell to, 25 points per game, I think the Magic could take this in 5 games.
I did not expect that, so we're all unanimous now after the first 2 series.
It's a
song.
It's only the East though. We still got to get into the West. Bucks Pacers. Giannis, news came out that he is likely to sit game 1, if not more games in the series. Pacers are taking this. I mean, without Giannis for the Bucks, they still have Damian Lillard.
Oh,
What? No, I think that the Bucks are going to take it. I think the Pacers, seeing Gainbridge when the Pacers
Using the
hosted
Bucks or the Pacers are going to take it?
the Pacers.
Oh, you just changed it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. You
Okay,
just said-
final answer. Pacers are taking it.
it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
All right, Pacers final,
Final
answer.
answer.
Yes,
Okay.
because Giannis will be sitting, and also because when the Pacers hosted the Celtics in that wild game, it was a long time
The
ago.
in-season tournament game?
Yes, yes. No. This makes
The
sense.
one where they threw the ball away?
No, the one where they beat the Celtics.
Yeah.
They were trailing at halftime. They came back, beat the Celtics. Halliburton hit
Top
a
5
three
win
and
in
got fouled.
franchise history.
Okay,
December
whatever.
win, but
Seeing Gamebridge like that was a playoff atmosphere, and
It
the team was juiced. So if you're telling me that that's the in-season tournament, that's what I'm saying. This is relevant. Pacers are going to be playing well at home. Not having Giannis early is going to be very impactful, and Pacers might steal enough, on the road at first with Giannis sitting, and then play well at home. I mean, it'll just turn. It'll turn in their favor. So I'm going Pacers.
I mean, I'll take the Bucks here. I think
Oh, the perfect game. It's brewing now. The harmony.
I do think that there's something wrong with the Bucks. I think it's pretty clear that Doc Rivers
Okay,
is
then
not.
what do you say?
No, listen.
I'm gonna take the Bucks, but clearly there's something wrong. with the
There is
Bucks.
something
Hey,
wrong,
let the
but
man talk. Let
ultimately,
the man talk.
I think the Bucks are not gonna lose the series, and if they do, I think they look in the future and they're like, if we lose the series, the whole team is blowing up. We don't know what comes next. And I do trust Damian Lillard to an extent in the playoffs, and I think this Bucks team without Giannis for the one. I mean, it's not a one-game series, so with this Bucks team without Giannis for that one game, I think could still win a game. I'm not sure what their record is without Giannis, but Damian Lillard in the playoffs has shown before that he can win alone, and I feel like he's just been saving it for this moment.
yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I know people,
I
Or,
do
you
like
know,
the Pacers.
so fond of the Pacers because they were really good in the regular season, 4-1 against the Bucks, but playoffs are a different animal. The tempo slows down, and that plays in the Bucks' favor. Late in games, I'm fine with having Dame time over
It
Halliburton.
is big. It is big.
so I
It
think
is
that-
an advantage. I will admit that it is an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you still have Middleton there. Once again, like you mentioned, Ethan, I don't think the Bucks are, a great team. They have a ton of flaws, but they're playing a young, inexperienced team led by a young leader in Tyrese Halliburton, who hasn't been super good over the past 2 months. If he was going in after that rapid, stretch of games in December where he was on fire, I think it's a different story. But the Pacers need not only Tyrese Halliburton to continue to pass the ball, but he needs to put the ball up on the rim more. He's a really good shooter. He needs to shoot the ball more.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that even though it is, you're right. It's not a one-game series, but if the Pacers can steal it, I think that this is a type of team that will only be more energized by playing at home.
I agree with that.
And I think that is a big side of the Pacers. They play so much better when they're juiced at home. That's going to be a big difference. And I think that's what's going to, help them carry over. Okay, so then kind of makes it interesting. You guys have Bucks, I have Pacers, Knicks versus the 2. I'm going to say it's the Knicks versus the 76ers, but I'm going to say the Knicks take it and move on to play the Bucks or the Pacers. Do you any disagreement?
I think if the 76ers win that game, I would still take the Knicks, but
Okay.
I believe it would go to 6 or 7.
Okay.
Probably 7.
I could see 6.
Yeah.
I could see 6.
Yeah, even though the Knicks got knocked out by the Heat last year, I don't think they want to see the Sixers particularly. They much rather have the Heat. I think it's an easier series. I'll still take the Knicks. I think it could easily go 6 or 7 though. Mitchell Robinson still a bit banged up after being out nearly the entire year. Isaiah Hartenstein, he's a really good player, but the physicality of Embiid combined with if you have physicality back, it's a foul. So we'll see how the whistle is in the playoffs. That's always a huge thing for the Sixers.
That is true.
But Maxey coming on strong though. I really do trust him a lot in the playoffs.
It's a big help. I still think that the Knicks would get over the okay, so if the Knicks take down the 76ers, I think they would get past the Pacers or the Bucks and go to the East Finals. Do you see a path in which the Knicks get to the East Finals, or is it too good to be true?
I could see it, although I think this team will get tired eventually. And I think the Bucks, they do just have more playoff experience than this Knicks team. And we've seen that with a lot of Thibodeau teams in the past, where they get tired. That's why he hasn't had much playoff success in the past. I think a Bucks Knicks series would be really like a grinded out type series, very slow pace. But there is a path there for the Knicks to go to the finals.
Yeah, I think if they were to play each other, the Bucks and Knicks, I think the Bucks would actually be favored, and I would.
Yeah, they probably would be.
I would take the Bucks. I really do love Jalen Brunson. I do want to bring up Julius Randle, who's out for the rest of this year.
I actually think it helps the Knicks.
Okay, yeah. See, some people say it helps the Knicks.
I think so.
I don't think so. I know he makes mistakes. I know he shoots poorly, but look at all the attention that Jalen Brunson's about to get in this playoff series. Remember, Julius Randle, a guy who shoots like 35% of the playoffs, still commands a double team. That's huge. Who's the second option for the Knicks?
I mean,
it's OG Anunoby, who's not a very good offensive player.
Or Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
but it could be anybody though. I think is the whole Knicks point. I mean, they've such good depth that anybody could.
Yeah,
but you're playing a guy like 45 minutes.
Okay, but someone could make the argument that even if Randall commands a double team every single time, that's canceled out by him shooting 35%. I mean, that's not helping you win games.
Especially if they
clearly
played
it didn't help them win.
I think if they had Randall, especially if you match up against the Bucks, not having Randall really kills them there.
Yeah, that is killer.
There's no one for Giannis.
Though, you'd rather have this lineup. You'd rather have the Knicks have this lineup without Randall going against the Pacers.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does depend on matchup.
Pacers, yeah.
It's sort of the same thing with the Sixers because you have a recently injured Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein against Embiid, which is not that great of a matchup at all.
Right.
And then, I mean, you have Brunson versus Maxey, which they're pretty much the same defensively. But the rest of that lineup, I mean, no one's guarding Tobias Harris, but except for OG, I guess.
No. The air is guarding Tobias Harris, and he'll still miss.
So let's focus on, I guess, what we know. Or what we're in agreement on. So we're agreeing that it's going to be Celtics, Magic, and that the Celtics are going to the East Finals.
I mean, there's
So Celtics are on the top, and you guys are saying Bucks over whoever is going to be on the bottom.
I will say,
whether it's the Knicks, Heat, or 76ers.
I will say something. If the Sixers lose and end up as the 8th seed, I could see a world in which the Sixers win that series. Just because of.
I mean, I think it could go far, but I think the win is pretty.
I think it'd be a really good series, though.
It's kind of, I think so too. I mean, I think it would be, just as with the Knicks and the 76ers, I think it would be very entertaining.
That's just sort of the only possible way the Celtics don't make the Eastern Conference Finals at minimum.
Yeah, I mean, everyone complains, about their first round matchup, but you'd rather have the hard first round and the cupcake second round. I mean, the Cavs and Magic. I mean, if the Celtics lose that series, Mazzulla is gone.
Disband the
Tatum and Brown conversations continue. Holiday is getting cut after a new contract immediately. No, but I mean, it would be massive trouble. But
I think they sweep either the Cavs or the Magic.
I mean, it could have ended 3 games for all we know for the first time ever.
So you two are saying it's basically like your leaning pick is Celtics Bucks.
Yes.
What? Yes.
If I was to predict, yes, Celtics Bucks.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
My prediction, even though it is chalk, is I'm going to say Celtics Knicks, and the Knicks take it.
I mean, that's how the NBA playoffs a lot of times go.
I think the Celtics would actually kill the Knicks.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it would be 5 games.
So there's the okay. Well, hey, we talked a lot about the inner workings of the matchups. Now we got to move over to the West. I think that was a good comprehensive review. So, I thought it was going to be Thunder Warriors. Clearly, I'm wrong, but I think as we agreed on, I laugh it out. You guys are really funny today.
So does that mean we are funny because you're always wrong?
No, I said you are really funny today.
Dang it.
That means you're not funny.
Dang.
So I did think it was never mind. Thunder versus whoever they play. I mean, I think it certainly is going to be a problem for the Thunder in the next round about the young team, but I think that just with the talent that they have, I think they're going to survive as the one.
Yeah,
especially at the Pelicans. I mean, or the Kings. I mean, I don't know. It's just.
I mean, they're a young team, but they have about the same playoff experience as the Pelicans, and I guess less than the Kings. But
I guess the worry is that
such
the
a better
Kings
team.
just go on a surge, but I don't think it would happen around. Like I think the Kings making it out of the play-in, they would make the Thunder a good series, and that would kind of be like their, like final reaching step that they get to, where this type of a season, you're the 9, and at least you go out on a high note. But I think that's as far as they can go.
They even match up pretty well. I mean, you just put Chet on Sabonis and Jalen Williams or Giddey if you want on.
Yeah.
on Fox.
I was about to make some other joke. I'm not going to say it though.
Yeah, don't.
But yeah, no, I think the Thunder. I feel honestly pretty decent about the Kings after watching them yesterday, and
That's a
maybe-
home one game.
right home one game
With Clay shooting 0 for 10.
Right. Okay. And they were good on the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to focus on their defense. They had Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray guarding Steph Curry. I mean, the Kings. That's the main worries defensively. How are they
But-
going to play?
No, because
The Thunder team, they are a really tough matchup, and the Thunder are glad to have them. But I'm
No.
interested to see SGA in the playoffs.
But I think what's different though, well, are you making the claim that Ellis and others are going to be able to guard Shai Gilgeous?
I'm
Even
saying
if they-
I'm saying it could go to 6 games.
I just don't think I think that Curry is very shifty on the 3-point line, but the difference in the Kings game is that De'Aaron Fox is so shifty anywhere on the court and being able to get to the rim, being able to pass. I think that Shai Gilgeous is that more form rather than a shooting threat on the 3-point. He can create his own shot. I just don't know if the Kings will be able, it's not the same mold as Curry, obviously, Shai Gilgeous with Curry. So I think it's a different task in guarding, and I think it's going to be tough.
I think they have more just like pieces that can
Yes.
score than the Warriors did.
Mhm.
I mean, they have Gordon Hayward off the bench, who's been not bad lately. And he does have playoff experience. There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna win that first series. I don't see a way in which they lose
All right.
to either the Kings or the Pelicans.
All right. So Thunder moving on, all
Yep.
unanimous. Clippers Mavericks. I think this is going to give us a split decision. Mavericks case closed.
Mavericks case closed.
That's it. No
I'm
shot.
taking the Clippers.
No shot.
It's
I'm-
really unfortunate that they're matching up against each other because I think they both could have gone to the Western Conference
Yeah,
Finals.
this-
Yeah.
Unbelievable. the
Yeah.
first round. I'll take the Clippers. Love
Oh, God.
Luka.
All right.
Like Kyrie as a player.
All right.
But the Clippers, they have a lot of pieces now.
They
Westbrook
don't have
coming.
Kawhi no more.
Yeah, and the Westbrook injury obviously hurts.
I just
Um,
think that. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I mean, PG, Kawhi, Harden. I mean, they got a good team,
I think they have a lot of
and,
good pieces
and
on.
they're much deeper than the Mavs. I think.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's nearly going to matter as much when Kyrie and Luka have settled into their roles as much as they have. I mean, the Clippers can have the
I mean,
I
the
think
Mavs
they
on the
match up
defensive end.
pretty well.
Neither of them are
Clippers,
two.
the Clippers can win the battle in the more names that they have, but I think the Mavericks have just been playing better basketball as of late, and why wouldn't that transfer into the playoffs? I mean, I don't think that there's players on the Mavericks like Luka and Kyrie that are going to be scared of Harden or any other veteran.
I mean, I think they match up pretty well, and also
Drop the mic.
they have
Drop
played
the
for
mic
the
on
past.
the last 2 times they play in the playoffs.
They have
where
played
Clippers
for the
won
past
those.
3
Okay,
years.
Different teams.
The Clippers have won both of past 2 series against the Mavericks, and I guess you could put that as Luka's gonna go crazy and win this game for them. But I mean, ultimately, like, who's guarding Paul George? Who's guarding Kawhi? Because I think he is playing.
No, Kawhi's out.
No,
for
he's
the first
out.
couple
Is that for the
games.
first game?
He's
Yeah.
out for the first game. I don't know.
Oh,
So he's back to 21st.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
their first game.
like
But
one,
again, that's what I'm saying is the Pacers with the Bucks. If the Mavericks have to go onto the road and they don't have Kawhi, can you steal a game without him? That's what I'm saying. So, all right, we're moving on. Timberwolves Suns, we got to move quick. This is actually a really uneasy pick. I feel like everyone kind of wants to take the Timberwolves, but you're like, oh God, can they really do it? I think they will do it, but oh man, they're 0-4 against the Suns this season.
The Suns at 6 is really impressive. They were pretty far down. They were like the 8th or the 9th seed for a long time. I'm
Timberwolves
taking the
do have-
Timberwolves. I'm taking the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves do have Cat back.
I'm taking the Suns. That was my hot take last time. Suns in
All right.
4.
Suns in
Suns in
4.
four?
Oh wow.
4?
Oh my God.
4 games.
Oh my God.
That was a
You
hot
think-
take.
No.
You think Nurkic is going to handle?
Hey man, he
Cat-
can get 25 boards.
Handle.
We've seen him do it.
I will give you they don't have someone to guard KD.
It's a terrible matchup for the
it's-
Timberwolves.
It is a pretty bad matchup.
It is
that way.
not the most favored matchup, but I still think that they have enough pieces to do it.
Yeah.
I know that I kind of refuted the whole pieces thing with Clippers Mavs, but I will say that. Anyway, Nuggets Lakers. We already talked about it. I think it's the Lakers. You guys think it's the Nuggets. Whatever.
I cannot believe you said
Um,
I think it's the Nuggets.
There's a lot of I don't really know how we even make a pick in the West anymore because it's Thunder versus something Cavs, something Clippers. So I guess just do you think whatever team you picked is going to beat the Thunder? I say yes.
Yes.
I think the Mavs can. Okay,
I think the
so
Clippers.
we're all in agreement. Thunder
I
lose
think the
second round.
Clippers and
Yeah.
the Mavs would both beat
The Thunder.
nearly every other team in the West other than the Nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take
Yeah.
the Clippers or Mavericks, either of them in 5 against the Thunder.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clippers or Mavericks going to the West Finals. We're narrowing it down.
It's so sad they're playing the first
Nuggets,
round.
Nuggets to the.
I'll take
I
the
will s-
Nuggets to the Western Conference
I
Finals,
will
but
say,
I
though-
think their second round match will be very hard.
I will say though that regardless of how good Clippers, Mavericks, Suns are, for whatever reason, I think that I mean, obviously matchup reason, but Timberwolves are the only team that are going to be able to beat the Nuggets. Like
They do match
in
up
that,
very well.
in that.
No, I
in that
think the
stretch.
Yeah.
Suns are the best team to beat
Yeah.
because they beat them already this year.
Yeah,
They're
but
the only
having
team that
Cat
took
back for scoring is
Yeah.
so important.
they were the only team that took them to even 6 games last year.
Yeah, I guess
you know,
that's a
you
good
have
point.
Kevin Durant, he can shoot right over Aaron Gordon.
I-
Devin Booker's gonna be a
I
killer.
think-
Grayson Allen shoots like 47% from 3.
All right. All right.
Bradley Beal's cooking.
I think
Why am I liking
that the
this?
It's
Nuggets
really important for the
are-
Nuggets to get home, though.
Yeah, I think
in
they are
that
scared.
instance.
I think they're more worried, not scared, more worried of the Suns than they are of the Timberwolves.
I would still take
Nah,
them.
dude.
I
The Timberwolves defense is like they're renowned
but-
for their defense this season. All the Wolves have the best record in the West.
They're
or-
still,
yeah, they're
like,
also
the best
renowned
young
for
West.
not having a half-court offense
Yeah.
that
All right,
functions.
whatever.
So I'll take the Nuggets in.
Okay,
7
but
over the
it's
Suns.
all like what's so hard about this is like if Anthony Edwards goes nuclear, like see ya Nuggets, and if he doesn't, see ya Wolves.
That's if they even win their first round. match.
Yeah, what,
No,
what's
I
all this
know.
hype for Edwards? Like, what is he going to put?
No,
like,
I
a
didn't
50
say that.
bomb?
No,
Is he-
I'm just saying that team goes as Edwards goes, and if the
Yes,
Nuggets are
I
having a
agree.
bad series, I mean that's what could happen. But I could see it though.
I do.
The Nuggets go as far as Jamal Murray will take them.
Something I absolutely love though is Edwards is
I-
a defender. He's a big time impact on the defensive end.
Their whole team is good defensively.
Well, I know, but when your number one star player is also going to be, guarding another top player, that's
Yeah.
massive.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, the leader, you talked about LeBron. If Edwards can lead like that, they have a shot. I don't think you want Karl Anthony Towns being like, all right, boys, let's play some defense. They're going to look at him and be like, yo, Cat, why are you saying something? You're horrible defensively, man.
but his scoring is so huge for the
It is.
Timberwolves.
It
And
is.
I think the entire West playoffs are going to go to 5 or 6 in the first round.
Okay, so my pick, and I'm not really confident about it, is Timberwolves out of the bottom half. Not really confident about it. I do think though that if the Timberwolves can get past the Suns, that'll be a tough series. I mean, we've all agreed that it'll be a tough
It'll be a
series.
tough series.
And that can lead them into the Nuggets if the Nuggets get some cupcakes in the Lakers series. You don't know. I mean, home court is going to be big for the Nuggets to not necessarily be like surprised and shocked right away, but
I'll say this:
the Wolves are tested.
whoever wins Clippers versus Mavericks is going to win the whole West.
Yes.
I
I
can get
love that take.
I
Yeah.
can get behind that. My pick was that it was going to be Mavericks Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves are going to take it at that stage of the playoffs. But I also think it's really tough to take the Wolves that far. I would not be shocked if the Mavericks go that far, is what I'm saying.
Mavs are winning it all.
It's honestly so funny how
they
we haven't
play-
even mentioned like the Thunder even having a shot.
No, they're too young.
No, they're too young. But it's like,
They
I mean,
just
come
don't-
on. Luka versus Shea
I agree
Gilgeous?
with you.
It would be cool if it.
I agree with you guys. I'm
Yeah.
just
No, because it seems like the writing has been on the wall. I mean, the whole
I don't
reason.
know. They have like
I mean,
57
They
wins.
do.
No,
I'll give the
I'm
Thunder
saying
the
for-
benefit of
no,
the
no,
doubt.
No, I'm saying for how do you think that Luka,
I said they're going to win their first round, so they're not.
Shea Gilgeous
getting
the
out
whole time
immediately.
was favored over Luka for MVP, and it's the Mavericks' run in the last part of the season that Luka was so pivotal in that got him far above Shea Gilgeous
Right,
in the
he's
MVP.
getting a
odds.
second right behind Jokic at like minus 1,000.
No, I know. I'm not
And
saying that. I'm just saying
I
that the
know.
Mavericks are playing. I mean, how do
I'm not writing
you
them
think the
off,
Heat
but-
got here? How do you think the Heat got there last time? They're playing good basketball. Anyway, whatever. You guys think that Clippers Mavericks are going to the West or they're winning the West?
No,
Yeah,
I think the
I-
Nuggets.
You think the Nuggets? All
I
right,
think
whatever.
it'll be a really good series against the Nuggets, but they might. They could lose steam or something like that. I think the Clippers and Mavericks would just simply want it more. Whoever wins that series
All
is
right.
going far.
All right. Well, we've talked a lot about the inner workings. A lot of us have different picks, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down. My hair's getting white over here doing that. Anyway, playing games tonight. Heat 76ers at 7. Hawks Bulls 9:30. You can watch that on the back-to-back. Friday, important to update. Look for if Zion will be playing for the Pelicans. Pelicans would have home court. Kings would have to go there. Yeah, so that would decide who would play the Thunder. Yeah. And then playoffs round 1 starts Saturday afternoon. Magic Cavaliers the first game, and then Suns Timberwolves right after that. So get ready for that. Lakers Nuggets as well that night. It's gonna be awesome. Gonna be an awesome weekend between Little Five and NBA playoffs. So make sure to go check it out. But that's gonna do it. I've been your host, Matthew Byrne, joined by co-hosts Adam Oppenheim, Ethan Mazel, and Jason Myers pushing the buttons. Remember, if you make it, you take it. Go enjoy those playoffs. We're going to see you back here on Monday to talk about it all.